Japan's biggest earthquake since records began triggers a huge tsunami, leaving at least 300 dead, many more missing. Sendai and surrounding areas are swamped by the wave. It was 10 meters high at some points.
Natural disasters, earthquakes, floods, fires, tsunamis, and the many other wilds of nature. They are happening all the time around the world, and often strike without warning. They are no respecter of people and strike the rich and the poor alike. Even developed countries, as we have seen and experienced, can be devastated by a natural disaster and need outside help. That help often coming from international agencies with specialist skills in disaster relief. ADRA is one of those agencies. The Adventist Development and Relief Agency has been working in disaster prevention and response for many years, attending many of the major world disasters. From the Asian Boxing Day tsunami that cost over 200,000 lives and the devastating Haitian earthquake to recent disasters in the Pacific and in Christchurch, ADRA was there, distributing food, shelter, water, first aid response, and much more. And ADRA will be there at the forefront of any significant disaster in New Zealand or the Pacific. ADRA has the staff, equipment, networks and systems in place to help your family and your community should the need arise. Of course, these capabilities don't happen easily or automatically, but with the diligent effort of ADRA staff and volunteers who keep working hard to ensure that when a major disaster strikes, they are ready. And with your help, they can do an even better job. ADRA New Zealand has begun compiling a national register of volunteers to undergo training in disaster response. If you can think on your feet and can work fast in challenging conditions, then sign up for our disaster response team. And we would also really appreciate any financial assistance you can give. The sad fact is that funds come to organisations such as ADRA after a disaster occurs. This can take days or weeks or even months for the money to be made available, but often the needs are immediate, and that's where ADRA needs to be, responding immediately. That's why donations given now are so important. In fact, ADRA is often there even before disaster occurs. Reducing the effects of disasters before they strike is an important role of our organisation. ADRA is working throughout New Zealand, the Pacific and the world to better prepare people and their possessions for the effects of natural and man-made disasters. The more we do to be prepared before the disaster strikes, the better, as the less we'll have to do afterwards. And that means less resources and less effort in the long run. Donations given now mitigate the effects of natural disasters on families and on communities. Much of the footage for this video was taken from a disaster response exercise held in Fiji, where ADRA staff, in conjunction with staff of World Vision, Oxfam and other agencies, were being trained in disaster response. This work is vital and it saves lives. We hope that you would consider how you could help ADRA to progress this good work, either with financial assistance or by volunteering. And because you are there for us, we intend to be there for you, should you or your family or this country need us. Responding when the worst happens.